Of Shadows of the Mysteries, House of Skye. Introducing you all to another one of our awesome players, Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Matt Walsh. I'm playing Ignatus and super excited to get on with this campaign.
Awesome. So what's your history with tabletop RPGs or role-playing games?
I started in the late 80s, early 90s. I inherited some of the D&D books from my brother. And then my friends and we got into some other systems and we played for a number of years. But once I got out of high school and got into college, I kind of lost contact with my group and stopped playing for about 20 or so years, only really getting back into tabletop RPGs when my kids actually got into D&D. I think
That's cool.
Probably inspired by Stranger Things. But so I've only gone back into it the last couple of years. Mostly while my kids are playing 5e, I'm mostly playing some old school and retro games with some other people around my age, my generation from that time frame. So
Understood. Do you remember your first RPG character?
I do not. I want to say I made a fighter and played one of the solo campaigns from like the original D&D box set. Might have been my first one. I do not remember what he was.
All right.
I think
I do remember. I remember an Ewok, but that's in a Star Wars campaign. But
yes, we did play some Star Wars. But I think before that though, I think we had some mutants in Teenage Mutant Ninja
We did. We had some Teenage Mutant Turtles. We had riffs too. So, yeah.
But I think TMNT was our intro to the Palladium system there.
It was a good intro. Until the ruins of the Palladium system. I mean, I love that system to death, but it is definitely special.
Lots of nostalgia there, but
yeah. Exactly. That's so what excites you about role playing in general? What got you? What got you back? I mean, like obviously something had to, right? Like,
so an old friend reached out and was like, "Hey, a bunch of my buddies are starting an old school campaign. Do you want to try it?" I'm like, "Sure," because I've honestly like been still kind of interested in the periphery, but not like I never had a group to play with, and so playing online kind of opened that up. And an old friend, our old friend Damon actually reached out, and that's who I'm playing with now. So it was kind of just everything came together, and now I'm really kind of super into it again. So
awesome. What drew you to this actual play project?
Well, I mean, I saw the updates on it. I think it's an intriguing setting, and so I wanted to see it. And once again, I had not really played any 5e compatible systems, so this was I thought it was a good idea to kind of get into it with some people that have played it well. And I thought I've been a lot more interested in a lot of actual plays recently because I never even knew they existed before I started playing again. And so I thought it'd be a fun experiment, definitely a little bit outside of my wheelhouse, but I'm excited about it.
Oh, well, I'm excited to have you on it. So how would you say, I mean, how do you think playing in a noir setting is going to feel different from other games you've played?
I think that's an interesting question. I'm not sure, actually. I think it'll be interesting to see how the character interactions are, and how we style those things. I think the setting's interesting. So, as the comments that are brought up, like anything color related is not going to be part of the conversation. So I think that's going to be very interesting. And the noir itself, I think, is always an interesting setting. So
cool. So I know you haven't had a chance yet to play Ignatus, but when you were creating the character, do you see yourself in your character, or are they very different from you in a sense?
I think they're different from me. I like to think I'm smart. Ignatus is very smart. I like to think I'm smart, but he's more of the smart person that's going to let everybody in the room know that he's the smartest person in the room, or at least he thinks he is the smartest person in the room. I'm a little bit more low key, if in that way. And I consider myself somewhat relatable, and people like me, and he's definitely the person that tends to rub people the wrong way.
Exciting. And you mentioned they're smart. So why did you pick the class you picked for your character, which is Savant?
I thought it was intriguing. It's an interesting combination of the special abilities and using the intelligence and the investigation. I'm a very critical. I'm very much a thinker when I'm playing games. I'm trying to solve the puzzles all the time, and so I thought that it was a great fit for what I want to do. Personality wise, might be a little different, but I really like to kind of solve those puzzles and think things through. So
awesome. Well, definitely there's some really cool abilities that they have that definitely help with that. And then not sure, do you want to mention faction, or I mean
it's
or more of a find out and play?
I can mention it. I'm not sure I can pronounce it correctly, but the Cult of Tenebris intrigued me because I originally had thought of his history as going to church school and not enjoying church school, and so when I read about that faction, it seemed like it was against the church, so I thought it was a good fit.
Yeah, it's pretty spot on. It's definitely the opposite side of the spectrum, that's for sure. Yeah. So going back to Ignatus a little bit more, again, I know you're still filling out the character or whatever, but if your character had a signature drink, what would it be?
I think it'd be a vodka martini with a twist. I feel like he wants to project this high classness that, while he does have the heritage of being a cousin to one of the major houses, he doesn't quite live that life, and he would kind of project it a little bit.
That makes sense. And then, I mean, I think you kind of touched on this a little bit, but are they more of a planner or an improviser?
More of a planner. But I do like the savant class in terms of having that flexibility and those abilities that you can improvise when necessary. I think he would walk into a situation with a plan, but he would utilize his abilities to most likely improvise his way out of that plan if it goes bad.
Right. Every plan's as good until it encounters the enemy. So
yep.
If your character had to pick a theme song, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Islands in the Stream? No.
I feel like he would have something like grandiose and classical that would as his entrance music to kind of project himself as something, someone more important than he actually is. Of
importance. Yeah, okay.
Right. Almost like Ride of the Valkyries, coming in or something like that.
All right.
That's how he thinks of himself. Whether anybody else in the room would think the same thing, but
100%. Cool. All right. Well, before we delve into a typical day of Ignatus, I just wanted to, for those that are just getting their initial exposure to Shadow City, we mentioned a couple things, and I'd like to give a little bit more details for it. So, in Shadow City Mysteries, it's been centuries since color left the world. The church teaches that death of color was the final curse of the goddess of darkness, upon her defeat by the gods of light. It lingers as a sign to be ever vigilant against the lure of evil. What else could be lost if the gods must intervene again on so grand a scale? People of science claim it's something strange about how light reflects in the atmosphere, and one day they hope that rocketry and photography improve to the point that they can confirm whether color can still be seen from space. Neither can truly explain why some things, the high-tech and the mystical, still show in color. The day-to-day life of citizens in the world is one of monochromatic. Pops of color from turnstone-infused objects draw every eye in appreciation, while color where no tech should be breeds fear of arcane threats, hidden beneath the popular veneer of science. Now, clockwork. Not long after the War of the Gods came the discovery of Solargeum, commonly just called turnstone, as we mentioned earlier. This semi-hard rock is permanently oriented to face the sun, revolving once every 24 hours and grinding itself into smooth sand rather than allow any force to stop its turning. Initially, it was something of a curiosity. Shards of it could be used to unerringly tell time, and big enough slice could power a mill. But under any significant load, such as gearing to transform a 24-hour rotation into a faster one, the rock tends to pulverize itself against the metal. The Industrial Revolution came when scientists figured out two key tricks: blending and infusing the turnstone dust into harder metals, and a semi-mystical trick of using mirrored plates to allow it to rotate along any reference point. Power was now reliable, portable, and endless. Turnstone's only limitation, the science of metallurgy, increasingly small, intricate, or powerful devices, put strain on the gearing that requires increasingly durable metals to house the solar geom. Power never runs out, but gears can strip out. Every year, the world's scientists and engineers make breakthroughs in what clockwork is capable of. Other sciences, such as chemistry, have lagged from what might be expected in early modern society due to the sheer ease of making discoveries of new applications for clockwork. Society has automobiles, electricity, clockwork wound weapons, and even intricate cybernetic prosthetics and automatons made of countless tiny gears. One of the properties of Turnstone that scientists can use, but not explain, is that it responds to human will. A prosthetic arm or leg powered by solar geom works as well or better than the original, with no clear reason for the interface with human nerves. The real problem with Turnstone is that it's needed for everything. Having long exhausted its own reserves of the mineral, the globe's sole superpower, Vesipon, embarks on wars across the planet with increasingly thin pretexts in order to open up new mines for the material. And so we come to Soretta, also known as Shadow City, and a typical day for Ignatus. So please let us know, how does a day for Ignatus start and go?
Well, it usually starts a little bit later in the morning. He tends to hang out late at night at the Pendulum Club or any other places where he can get some information. And he would wake out and roll out of bed and immediately go to some of the lower end bars in the area to kind of follow up on some of the investigations he may be currently doing, because Ignatus is for hire as an investigator in order to give him his income.
Not bad. Where do you think you'd find yourself on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday well, he'd always try and make his way to the Pendulum Club at some point in the evening.
Mm.
But usually he would not get kicked out, but he would exhaust his contacts there and often wind up at a more less reputable place.
Understood. Well, before Ignatus gets kicked out, or perhaps runs the limits of what the bartender considers a tab at the bar. The bartender mentions to you that seems it's your lucky day today. There's a couple in the corner that decided to cover your tab and buy you one more drink if you like. But they said they like your company over in the corner.
He's never one to turn down a free drink and contacts at the Pendulum Club, so he will accept, and he will make his way over to the corner.
Do you want to maybe perception or anything before you do it, or just let's just waddle on over there? Let's see,
yeah. So I mean, once again, no experience with 5e, so you might have to prompt me for some of these things.
Yeah, no problem at all.
Yeah, so that is what, a D20, right?
Yeah. So all you have to do is roll. If you pull up your character sheet under the journal.
Yeah.
Click it, and then you should just be able to click the skill. Perception.
All right. Did that?
I heard nothing, but maybe it did.
I heard something for me.
It did. I don't know why I didn't hear it. All right, yeah. 10. Okay. So let's see what Ignatus sees. So as you are kind of looking around, you notice a number of things about the scene that catch your interest. The first of all is there's a very large, old, ratty raven perched nearby up in the rafters, just slightly above where the couple, as the bartender put it. You also notice a very pale individual in the sitting with a parasol next to them. There's my descriptions.
Do you see parasol, like the umbrella for sun? Is that?
Yeah, like parasol,
okay.
like a umbrella for
Yeah.
sun. Yeah.
Yeah, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no problem. Good clarification. So yeah, they're a pale figure. They're draped in a fine kimono-styled silk, paired with perfectly pressed trousers, and they're sitting with a delicate parasol in one hand, kind of against the table, and they have a tiny, stylish hat perched just so atop their head. And they seem to have very watchful eyes that are taking in every detail of the Pendulum Club. Then behind them is a very large man, actually almost disproportionately large, because of the prosthetics that he has. So much of their bodies, it seems to be made of clockwork prosthetics. Their lower skull and jaw is visibly mechanical. Their augmentations carry no metallic shine, which seems to be uncommon. Most of the time you see either brass or iron prosthetics.
Interesting.
Yeah. And based off of your perception, they're clean muted. And you catch some faint markings etched into the metal. They appear to be maybe military symbols, though not immediately identifiable. Perhaps if you rolled history, you might know more regarding that.
I can try that.
Oh, now I heard it. All right, 13. So, the insignia is definitely Vesiponian military in origin, most likely the Navy. And you recall rumors of a man dishonorably discharged under mysterious circumstances that might match this person's description. You think you faintly remember the name Hans.
Oh, okay.
And what were there? The raven, you noticed, also has a cataract clouded eye that gives it a strange look. And its gaze feels oddly fixed, like sharper than most birds.
Is it one eye is cataract or both?
No, just one.
Okay.
Yeah. And his wings are all kind of molted. As if he's a large bird, but he looks like an old bird. But again, seeing a raven is not, again, unusual in Shadow City, as it is, I wouldn't say widely known, but it is mostly known that the Society of Ravens keep, a lot of those families keep ravens as pets and as messengers. So
okay. But one as old as this would be somewhat rare.
So relatively, yeah. I mean, so ravens in captivity can live a very long age. This one looks extremely old and have maybe lived longer than it should.
Okay.
Yeah. Perhaps wishing the sweet release of death on itself, but maybe not. It's yeah. He's lived a long birded life. This is really what it's come down to.
Okay.
Yeah. So
yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll make my way over with my new drink.
New drink, excellent. As you approach the person sitting down with the parasol, Ignatus Ibison, you have always lived in the margins of legacy, close enough to taste the weight of the Skye name, yet distant enough to be overlooked. That time has ended. House Skye has returned, and you are summoned to step into its story. And then the large man says, Skye Estate at week's end. You will not be alone.
Oh, I am most welcome to join and help you lead the House of Skye. It has been my desire for the longest time.
Oh, good. then you already understand. This is not simply imitation. It is recognition. The first step into a life larger than you imagined.
So Ignatus is like visibly like excited now because this is what he's wanted for the longest time, but he could never get an inroads. So Ignatus is like, there's nothing more that I desire. And when at week's end, at what time do you need me there?
They slide a folded black card across the table. It has the Skye crest pressed in burnished gold, and it's set as if like to place a contract, but certainly will be read. And on it says, "By will of Eston Skye, your presence is required at the Skye estate at week's end. Attend and take your place in what comes next." And there's a time and a date, so basically for Friday at a suitable time.
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so Ignatus would be like, what is there anything that you need me to prepare for, or is there anything you need from me beforehand?
No, simply your arrival. So congratulations, Ignatus. You may not have stood at the center of the Skye name, but blood ties still open doors others can never touch. Accept, and you will step into a life larger than you imagined.
I accept. I will be there.
Well, we look forward to it then. And they get up and they kind of tap their parasol on the ground and turn to leave. Meanwhile, the large man just kind of gives you a steady look, just kind of weighing you in for a moment before following. And then shortly thereafter, the large bird shifts, its feathers rippling faintly, and, before going off into the rafters.
Okay, so they've left, or are they?
Well, they're leaving. They're on their way
leaving. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, or if you'd like to do intuition or arcana or anything.
I guess arcana, just if I could determine anything about. Yeah, that's one of my better ones. So. And I still rolled a 13.
This was a common theme for many people. So you're in good company amongst your fellow family and non-family members. So with Arcana 13, so the raven definitely is more than a simple messenger bird, and it like from what you can tell, even though again as a savant you don't practice true magic, you still understand a little bit. And you see that there's a trace of lingering magic that clings to the bird, and it feels as if also there's a trick of the light, because you feel as if like you actually see a faint dark blue aura about the bird, but that doesn't make any sense. Like that seems unusual, like unheard of.
Almost like it's the feathers reflect color in certain angles and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
a little bit of blue. Yeah,
there's a little bit of like, but you've never seen blue, so you're just making a guess. It's a very it's black.
We'll call that color Fred.
No. We'll call that exactly. So it's you've seen Fred for the first time now, and now you would be able to describe Fred to other people who have never seen it before.
Okay.
Now as far as the large man, his prosthetics are definitely powered by turnstone. They have to be, right? That's the only way they kind of work. However, you've seen both iron and brass prosthetics before, and generally they have a color to them, a metallic color. But these appear to indicate they have just this. These only have like the faintest glow, indicating that they use the bare minimum of turnstone in order to function. And
so when he leaves, I'm particularly interested, like because you said he's a large individual. Is he moving like a large lumbering individual, or is he moving smoothly?
He moves very smoothly.
Okay.
Yeah. So, which tells you another thing, that these prosthetics are definitely bespoke to him. And
is there a noticeable like thud when he steps, in terms of like he appears to be
he's
heavily weighted? Okay.
There is still heavily weight to it. Yeah.
Okay.
But he does not move in a lumbering way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. He moves like Bam Bam Bigelow.
I get that. I understand that reference.
Probably the only people who do. Nobody watching probably knows what that reference is. And then regarding, let me see if there's anything for the other individual. So the other individual had no visible arcane symbols on them. And yeah, that was just mostly it. So no arcane symbols or items. And
now,
nothing.
Was that? Would I know whether that individual was Eston Skye, or was it a representative? Do I know what Eston looks like, or
you know what yes, you know what Eston looks like. Eston, your parents, I mean, they didn't like have like photos of him, like or pictures of him up in the thing, but you've seen images of him at time to time, and you kind of remember he has made passing appearances at your parents' house while you're growing up. So you're familiar with the individual, but it was never for long periods of time. It was more of like checking in to say hello, because he was the nice one in the family that did like recognize your parents and you know their relation to you all. So you have a much more, again, fonder memory of him than his sister, who was the matriarch for the last few years, and a mainstay within the city. So yeah, Marzita never invited you for holidays, never had you for traditional like Church of Astra celebrations, and they were a very highly religious family. Marzita.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'll let them leave. I mean, Ignatus is super happy. This is kind of his dream come true. So he's just gonna, down his martini and enjoy enjoy it.
Yeah. And then for whatever reason the bartender lets you extend your stay this evening. Needed that. Yeah. Doesn't allude that they may have paid a little bit extra more than your tab. So, but you're not 100% sure how far you could push that with the staff tonight. But they're definitely more tolerable than normal. So,
yeah, that's excellent. Because normally Ignatus would have annoyed someone by now and gotten kicked out. So.
Your time at this establishment is over for this evening. Please come back again tomorrow.
Yeah. So I mean, if he'll definitely enjoy himself there and see whether there's anybody else at the bar that looks intriguing.
Yeah. Nobody else. Nobody at an unusual. Nobody else that stands out. To be honest, I mean, these individuals didn't really stand out. There's always some characters of
interest.
Yeah. At the Pendulum Club, but tonight they were probably the most interest. But no one else seems to be watching you or paying attention to you or anything like that. So, yeah. And the rest of your evening and the rest of the week goes by uneventfully, or as eventfully as you like it, but nothing more outstanding than the invitation that you've received already. So,
yeah. So I mean that sounds great to me.
Yeah. So how would you like to on Friday? How would you like to get to? Let's switch this up a little bit. So the Pendulum Club is here. So this is where you spend most of your days and evenings, before moving around to other bars and clubs around the city. The Skye Estate is way outside of the city. And even so, like the train will take you most of the way there, but you still would have to take some kind of private transport to get out not that far on a Friday evening or any evening, to be honest.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't, I would take the train as far as they could go, and then are there taxis, or I mean, what's the?
There are taxis. Yeah, there's taxis.
Yeah.
There, I mean, within the city, there are like trucks you can jump into the back of. There's a number of other trolleys and so forth besides the train around the city. But outside of that, and once you go into Silverwood or the West Hills and so forth, you usually need private or your own transportation, which none of you all have, or private transportation to take you out that way. So, but it's easy enough to get a taxi.
Yeah. So right. Yeah, Ignatus would get a taxi. He wouldn't want to show up riding on the back of a truck or anything like that. So.
Good plan. Is Ignatus the kind to get there early, right on time, or fashionably late?
He would be like 30 minutes early because he's so excited. So.
Okay. All right. As you.
But he'd probably get there and like get to the gate and be like pacing back and forth about like, am I too early? Am I not?
Sure.
So he'd probably wind up like ringing the gate or however the entryway is, probably around like 15 minutes early.
So. Okay. Before you get to ringing the gate, the things that you do notice about the estate is quite large. Actually, as you were passing through into Silverwood, you see lots of houses and so forth, but the Skye Estate is probably one of the largest that you've seen. Now, that being said, it is also the most unkept and unwell lit of the estates that you've passed by. Only the front central portion of the estate is lit, which is saying something because they have unlimited power in the city. So if you wanted to, you could light up anything, but it seems that they don't, mostly because of disuse and upkeep. So it looks like the building itself is in slight repair. At least the front has been repaired and kind of touched up a little bit. And it seems like there are other works that are going on, but only the front central area of the estate appears to be lit. And
presumably Ignatus had tried to get in there before. So was that the case when the sister was the head of the family before they disappeared, like in terms of occupation or like
actually in recent years. So her passing was very recent, but you would have been trying within like the last 5-10 years. And in that time, you know that her husband and her children had already passed away. So she'd kind of been a recluse, but did not welcome any visitors. Okay. And so this actually looks probably better than you've seen it in the last couple years.
Okay.
And so it was probably about 10 years ago when it started to fall into disrepair. And then it definitely probably haven't bothered within a year or so of visiting. I mean, up to you, but not much. But this definitely looks like a sign of some work. Before that, there was no, like, maybe even more minimal lights. This looks like at least it's lit to greet guests through the front gate. The front gate's repaired, and it probably looks like a little bit of security has been added to the estate since the last time you visited.
Okay, all right, yeah, that gives me a better idea of where it is versus where it was. So
exactly, yeah. Any, I don't know, perception. If you want to just take a look at,
I guess while he's pacing out there, determining on when to go in, yeah, I'll just try and see if I notice anything about the estate that's significantly different.
Survey says, yeah, sort of, yeah. So it definitely looks like the outer walls have been improved. The last time you remember, they were kind of crumbling, and there were lots of spots where, probably somebody, if they wanted to, could sneak into onto the Lord. You tried probably a few times, but again, everything was overgrown and there really wasn't much. So it still looks like there's overgrowth and everything, but it looks like at least the walls have been repaired. The gates have been repaired. So there's, the front of the building has definitely been repaired. And it looks like, I mean, you maybe when you were younger, your parents took you there once before they got kind of like shooed out. So it looks like at least the general living quarters area of the has been, I don't want to say repaired, but at least set up for it to be livable. So,
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I think with that being 15 minutes early to the soiree, we can fade to black as other folks also arrive, or perhaps arrive around the same time. And
everybody's arriving at 15 minutes early.
It's a highly paranoid group of people. That's let it be said that you're in good company of preparedness and everybody's ready for something, I guess. So yeah. All right. Well, thank you, Matt. I really appreciate you doing this, and we're looking forward to picking up with Ignatus at the start of the first session with everyone on September 7th at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Twitch or YouTube.
October. You said September.
Oh, October. There we go. Thank you for correcting me on that. We're in September right now, but we would have missed it. You would have missed it. You would have been really sad. But now you get to check it out on October 7th. 9 p.m. Eastern time. At least I didn't say the 8th, which is what time I do it at 3 a.m. So you can, if you're in Central European time, you can check it out at 3 a.m. live on the 8th. But don't do that. Just wait to watch the visual on demand. All right. Thanks again, Matt. And we'll see everybody soon.
Looking forward to it.